Reddit, what secret are you taking to the grave? My dad cheated on my mum with her sister when I was born. My aunt moved in to help my mother with the newborn that is me. My mother told me while she was drunk at a dinner party, and started it all off with I know I sometimes sound like I hate you, but there's a reason. So, even though I love both of my parents, I secretly think they're both pretty awful excuses for human beings. My dad for obvious reasons, my mother for holding it all against me. Edit. I'm so sorry for the earlier ambiguity. My mother was the one who told me. I have never been allowed to meet my auntie, but never really knew why until my mother spilled the beans. Until then, I had been offered the excuse that it was because my mother didn't like my auntie's husband. Turns out my dad is the D-head. In GR 10 my dad made a deal with me. If I got an average of 88% he'd buy me a new laptop. Well, the marks came in and I only got something like an 84-85% average. Well, F that. I want my laptop. So I went online to the regional school board's website and downloaded a PDF template of the report card. I don't know why they would have this available. Used a PDF editor to fill in the blanks and voila. Got a brand new laptop. No regrets. P.S. After I did this, I started selling customized fake report cards for $50 each. I once took a week-long trip to London. My mother asked me to get her a small rack from there, because neither of us have ever been out of the country. So, I spent the whole trip looking for this rack, and finally find the perfect one. Fantastic. She'll love it when I get back. So I get home. I'm taking inventory of all of my souvenirs, and the rack is gone. I immediately think back to where I last saw it. It was on the bedside table in the hotel in London. So I quickly run outside and find a decent rack. I clean it off. We live in Georgia. Freaking red clay is noticeable AF. And wrap it nicely. I eventually gave it to her with the story I got it from a castle. It'd break her heart to know that I got it from our backyard : 0. I threw rocks at the school with one of my best mates and some other student tattled on us. Basically we both got the paddle. Basically they smack your bum. And they sent a letter home to my dad. My dad received the letter and I lied to him and said I never threw the rocks. My dad, bless his heart, believed me and took it to our school principal and convinced him that I wouldn't lie about such things. Since the principal wanted to rectify it for my dad's sake, he offered me a free voucher for an ice cream as an apology. It's 15 years down the track now, and I still feel really bad for it. I feel like if I told my dad now it would break his heart. Not as huge as the other secrets here, but about 6 or 7 years ago I created a video together with my former boss. He was really passionate about it. After we put it up on YouTube I commented awesome with my private account from home. The next day he was really excited about this comment. Didn't know it was me and I'm going to keep it a secret. It is the only comment this video ever got. At least the last time I saw it. Edit. I don't have the YT link anymore, but it's on the website. My sister and I were on holiday together recently and very drunk one night when we got back from the bar. Naturally we started drinking more because we were on holiday. She has the ice cube tray in her hand, opens the window simultaneously and loses her focus and drops the tray 5 floors to the street, hitting a big guy square in the dome. He looks up and started screaming and shouting in Italian. I live in Rome, so I understood he was calling us some bad names. We just closed the window and continued drinking while we could hear this man shouting he was going to come up there and rip our heads off. Please never find me, Mr. Scary Italian Man. In 5th grade I cheated on an exam. My buddy and I were the only 2 people in the grade who got this particular question correct, but I copied him. The worst part was he was considered dumb while I was at the top of the class, so the teacher was convinced that he copied me and he ended up getting suspended. Long story short, I was too pussy to admit that I was the one who cheated, as my parents would have murdered me if I failed the test, and even worse if I got suspended. Broke into a church. Door to the children's daycare thing was open. Then took a tiny kid's chair. Me and my girlfriend were playing Monopoly and she was so concentrated on the game, on the dice, on her properties. She was just so engrossed in the board that I was constantly taking money out of the bank and keeping it. I feel terrible about it because she was just so adorable trying to play the game and concentrate on trying to win. I absolutely annihilated her because I had so much money. She wasn't a sore loser about it. When we were done playing and it was obvious I had won, she just kind of sighed and we watched a movie. The whole time I couldn't stop thinking about how absolutely adorable she looked while trying to concentrate and play. The way she looked at the money she had, and the properties she bought, like she was so proud of them. And I took advantage of that and stole money to win. I learned that from now on winning doesn't matter. I need to focus on having fun with her. But I will take this to the grave because if she ever finds out she'll be talking s like nobody's business. It's nothing big. It's actually something really small and innocent and I've just decided to tell Noon IRL. When I was 5 years old, a friend at primary school, whose name is Jay, told me he liked a girl called A and asked me never to tell anyone. I never have and I never will. Almost 30 years and I haven't told anyone. Over the years I've thought about saying something to someone about it, but I've never been able to bring myself to do it. Just something about the innocence of that promise, I guess. He wouldn't even care now, but 5-year-old Jay would and I don't want to break my promise to him. Edit. NZs don't do too well with compliments, but for what it's worth, thank you. A friend of mine confessed that a few years before I met her she got pregnant by a man who didn't want to have anything to do with the baby or her. She could not afford to raise the baby herself, so she continued with the pregnancy but did not tell anyone at work because she feared that she would be judged for it. She scheduled a C-section for Friday afternoon, took a half day off work, and was back on Monday. The baby was adopted by 2 of her friends. No one at work ever knew what she did. She said she was able to cover up her pregnancy by wearing extremely baggy clothes. Edit. To answer some questions. I had to Google the Peggy reference. I didn't think she stole the idea from Mad Men, but who knows. Yes, she's a bigger chick, so easier to hide weight gain. Agree, the C-section detail sounds sketchy. This was a story that was told to me, not one that I could personally verify. When I was a teenager, I was playing in a duo with a saxophonist. I played guitar on a cruise ship. The gig paid $200 each, and they gave me a check that I could cash and distribute to the saxophonist, who is also a really good friend. For a few weeks after the gig, I forgot about giving him the money, and he totally forgot as well. One day, I noticed the money in an envelope in my desk, and wondered how long it would take him to remember and ask me about it. He never did. I still have the money. He's still my friend, and I've never done anything like that since, but I can't bring it up now, and probably won't. It was the actions of an greedy, asshole past version of myself that I don't want to drag up at this point. Edit. I just want to add this for clarification. To all the people saying he knows and just doesn't know how to bring it up, he doesn't. He's a very forgetful person, and is also very direct. We're not just casual friends where he'd be afraid that we would stop seeing each other over money. We've known each other since middle school, and are incredibly close. So, I guarantee you that he does not know. He wouldn't be afraid of asking if he did. When I worked at a convenience store, there was a huge dumpster that we were responsible for taking out back every week. It was my turn this week. This thing weighed well over 1,000 pounds, but luckily it was on wheels, so I just pushed the damn thing. I wasn't really paying attention, and there was a slight downhill slope in the designated dumpster area. Some asshole parked their convertible in the spot, but by the time I noticed, it was too late. It rolled slowly, but the amount of force it had was incredible. I was frantic and acting stupidly. The best I could do was try to stop it by putting myself between it, and this worked to a degree, but I wasn't able to push it up the hill and there was nobody around to help me. So I squirmed my way out, listened to the door crunch under 1,000 pounds of metal and garbage, and went back to work. Somebody had a bad day that day. Edit. Removed a detail from the post for the sake of privacy. To the grave and all that. Oh boy. Alright, so it was freshman year of high school and my best friend, let's call him Xavier, and I just started in marching band. Our high school essentially was 3 combined middle schools, so we met a few new people. One of them happened to play the trumpet like I did. Her name was, how about Cindy? Well, Xavier instantly had a crazy crush on Cindy and I thought she was cute, but he told me his intentions pretty quickly, so I backed off like any good bro. Well, fast forward a few weeks and we're all pretty chummy. I'm hanging out at Xavier's house and he goes upstairs to do something. He gets a text message and I look at it. Well, before he left he had been asking me vague questions of what I thought of Cindy and I got the feeling something was up but wasn't sure what. Anyway, that's why I looked at the phone. He had gotten the text from Cindy. I don't really remember what it said, but I started going through the conversation and I discovered she had a crush on me. Apparently Xavier had gone up to ask her out and she turned him down because she wanted to be with me. Well, this is where I royally fuck up. I asked her out the next day and she said yes. Since then every time I think about this I realize that I am the biggest douche and really don't deserve Xavier as a friend. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, drop a like and subscribe. Please check out more of our videos or our playlist. It is perfect for when you want background noise or to put on when you are falling asleep. Once again, thank you and have a great day.